few moments later.
Hello guys, it's me Simo Urahara, and in this video we'll talk about the art and music lover Captain Rose, his path in the story as well as his Bankai. So as a start, Rose is among the distinguished shinigamis in many respects, in terms of appearance, personality, as well as strength. So in order to talk about Rose, we have to go back to Pendulum flashback, because there are some important things to talk about. At that time, Rose was considered a new captain compared to Hirako, Love, as well as the rest of the old captains. And according to Urahara, the reason Rose got that position was because the previous captain had retired. And through this word, it appears to me that captain had spent a long time with the Gotei 13, to the extent that he retired from his work. So it is possible to say that that captain was from the old or the first generation of the Gotei 13, especially if we knew that Rose's vice captain at that time was an old woman, Shikai Kinshara, and she is the mother of Eba Chizaemon. So what seems to me, she was perhaps a deputy for a long time with that captain before he retired. So I really want to know your opinion, guys, regarding this point. On the other hand, we didn't see much about Rose's strength in that flashback, except the Kido he launched against Kinsey, and the new power he got, which is the Holo Powers. But here I ask a specific question. Rose loves art. He loves music. In fact, his Zanpakuto's power is based mainly on art and music. That is why I wonder about the music he used to listen to as a captain in the Soul Society, and did his move to the world of living has changed his perception of art? Because for example, when Love was a captain, he didn't know anything called Jump magazine. Originally at that time, there was nothing of that. But as soon as he moved to the world of living, he found himself in reading manga, especially Jump magazine. And this was the main reason why he didn't want to return to the Gotei 13 as a captain. So I think that Rose will also have found several things related to music. It will undoubtedly change some of his tendencies and even develop some of his techniques. And these are the most important thing that I like about Rose's strength. Being a music lover gave him a wide scope to form several techniques based only on music. And in the fight of Rose and Love against Stark, we were able to see some of those abilities. Although frankly I don't know what made Rose and Love not release their Bankai in front of Stark. We notice how Kurako would have released the Bankai if it hadn't side effects, and we speak here about Kurako, who is stronger than Rose and Love, but in their fight against Stark, they were only using Shikai and Holo Mask. So, returning to the Zanpakuto of Rose, the name of Rose Zanpakuto is Kinshara, or Golden Shara, and Kubo based the shape of the Shikai from this tree of the same name in Japan, which is called Shara. If you notice, its shape is exactly like the Shikai. Kinshara is awakened by the word play, so that it stretches and moves according to the rhythms of the melodies that Rose composes. And we saw only one technique from Rose's Shikai, which he implemented in front of the Stark walls. And if you notice, the name of that technique contains the name of Sonata number 11. And this refers to what I have said. Rose, in my opinion, is able to use many techniques, but we have seen only one of them that he used in his fight against Stark. However, when the last arc came, I said to myself, well, now Rose, Hirako, and Kinsey have returned to the Gotei 13 as a captains. We will see new battles from them as a captains, especially Hirako and Rose. But it seems as if it's a curse that befell all the members of the Vizard. Hirako and Rose's path was very bad in the final arc, especially Hirako. He didn't get any proper fight. In the first invasion, whenever the camera catches him, we see him running through the streets of the city with Momo. As for Rose, I personally was waiting to see his fight against Nana, especially after he made these features of anger because of what happened to Kira. But as you have seen, the fight was off-screen like the most of the fights of the first invasion. However, in the second invasion, Hirako, Kinsey and Rose will make a fatal mistake, telling the enemy their abilities. And this is one of the biggest mistakes that any warrior can make, which is to tell your opponent how your ability works. I mean, some mangaka can use this method to tell the readers about the character's abilities, but the character reveals its ability to the opponent, and the opponents take advantage of that free information and he wins the fight because of it. I see it as a lazy writing. So Hirako affected Bambita with Sakanade's ability, but he couldn't close his mouth and he gave her free information about the basics of his ability, and so she took advantage of this explanation and defeated him. And Kinsey did the same when he was fighting Masculine. Without Masculine even asking him about his Bankai's ability, he started explaining in boring details how his Bankai works. True, this information had no effect on Kinsey's defeat, but in Rose's fight, this matter had a direct impact. Unfortunately, Rose started the fight in a good way because he turned to the person who is the root of the problem, James. James is the real person, while Masculine was the embodiment of his ideal hero. So based on Hisage's hint, Rose decided to use Kinshara and cut James, and then he released the Bankai. And this frankly was one of the good scenes in the manga, to see Rose's Bankai. Kinshara Botodon. This is the name of the Bankai, which means the golden Shara dance troupe, where two hands appears, one of them is holding a maestro stick, while we see another one with Rose. More than that, we see more than 16 creatures appear with their heads in the form of the Shikai. These creatures, they have one task, which is to dance under the rhythm of Rose's music, so that they surround the opponent and perform certain dances. And Rose is the one who determines the name of the dance and how to do it. What is horrific about Rose's Bankai is that it's like magic, but it's not magic, it's art. By listening to music, your heart becomes captured by the power of the Bankai, which will make you enter into a world of illusion that can physically affect you. In the first dance, Rosa is able to make the opponent exposed to a wave of water, and the second dance to fire. And as I said, the effects of that illusion is realistic. For example, in the second dance, the fire formed by the Bankai actually burned Masculine and caused him these wounds. And I believe that Rose's Bankai doesn't consist of 3 dances, but of several dances, and Rose chooses that will suit his opponent. For example, in the third dance, Rose told Masculine that he would choose a suitable dance for him, which is the life of a hero. And the name of that dance fits Masculine, as he calls him a hero. But unfortunately, as you know, we didn't see the ability of the third dance, because Masculine nullified the Bankai's ability by blowing his air drums. And this is the only weakness of the Bankai. Like Aizen's Shikai can't act against a blind person, and the same thing for Rose Bankai can't be effective against a deaf person. Other than that, I don't think anyone is able to escape this Bankai's ability. Now we will see this fight of Rose in the second core of the anime. I don't know if we're gonna see what the third dance is, because the problem of that whole fight against Masculine is Renji. It's like Kubo was giving power to Masculine and let him beat Vice Captain and 2 strong officers and 2 captains with their Bankai just to show us the power of Renji that he got from the Riot Palace. So guys, tell me what you think about this Bankai, give me your opinions in the comments, and see you guys in my next video.